Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. The bill ascended to its second reading, and Tuesday is a defining moment for that second reading, because I believe there will be some vote also on the same. So there are numerous politicians who have decided that they are going to join this demonstration. One is DANSTAN OMARI, two MIGUNA, and there are other leaders. So I want us to go to something that MIGUNA has shared, because MIGUNA seems to be telling these youths that they can even occupy State House. That State House is a public property. So I want us to go to an explosive statement made by MIGUNA. But before you do that, please like this video so that you don't forget. Like this video, because we have so much that we need to share. Reactions from many politicians. Some you will be shocked. In fact, there is something that Isaac Mauro also said. I will share with you all this in this analysis. So like this video, subscribe if you're not subscribed before. To those who subscribed before, thank you so much for your support. So I will start by sharing what MIGUNA said. And this is what MIGUNA said. State House is a public property. It belongs to the Kenyans, not the president, who is a temporary tenant as long as Kenyans grant him permission to live there. Let no one confuse or threaten or intimidate you. Meanwhile, remember, Tuesday, June 25th, the mother of all protests is on. You know, that is MIGUNA. Just take, for example, MIGUNA is in that demonstration and is a ringleader. How do you think that demonstration will look like? Massive. So also, there are people, someone like DANSTAN OMARI. And you know, DANSTAN OMARI being one of the vocal lawyers we have around. DANSTAN OMARI is saying that he is going to offer free services to anybody who's going to be arrested. And that's why he went to his tweet and said the following. The debt President RUTO is increasing will be paid by Gen Zs. Gen Zs will not stay quiet about paying for debts without knowing what they were used for. On Tuesday, I will join the demonstrations and offer free legal services to those arrested. Now, that is the second person who is confirming that he's going to join the demonstration. So let's take, for example, DANSTAN OMARI is also part of that demonstration. How is that demonstration going to look like? If you are arrested, he offers free service. That's what DANSTAN OMARI is trying to say here. So in a nutshell, the message being passed by DANSTAN OMARI is that he is going to be part and parcel of the demonstrations, and in another way is trying to escalate this call for the mother of all demonstrations that is going to take place on Tuesday. So DANSTAN OMARI is telling the youths indirectly that go, it's your right, I will defend you. That is a message, ladies and gentlemen. There is a reaction from Nation Africa. Hey, you'll be shocked here, ladies and gentlemen. Nation Africa says data from the Public Procurement Information Portal indicates that in the financial year ending on June 30th alone, government institutions spent at least 1 billion on furniture and renovation of offices. 1 billion. These are some of the things that youths are realizing that they can't tolerate anymore. That's why some of them have gone to an extent of creating short videos that is educating the government on what needs to be done, like this particular video.
I've seen people coming here and saying, oh, sasa juu hamtaki hizi taxes, mnadhani pesa ya infrastructure itatoka wapi? Akwala mjuu tuko deep in debt that we must pay. Koso. Listen, sisi si wajinga. We understand the debt crisis and we understand the importance of taxes. Now, I will not claim that I know the ins and outs of coming up with a finance bill for an entire country, but I do know a little about budgeting. Budget kuna kitu inaitwa essential expenses and non-essential expenses. Let me give you an example. If in a month or let's say a year, things are hard, or I'd like to channel my income elsewhere, let's say debt, the first place I will look at is my non-essential expenses. If maybe I'd spend 5k on entertainment, I'll reduce it to 1k or scrap it off entirely. That is what we should be doing during a debt crisis, no? Now, what annoys me is that instead of focusing on essential things like Linda Mama, We have 800 million going to confidential use. For context, that is over 66 million monthly. That tumeambiwa is none of our business how it is used. Pesa yetu. So before giving us an oppressive bill, let us ask, have we really looked at the budget and the expenditure and completely failed to see the areas we can get money from? Have we failed to see the people who are getting huge salaries for absolutely no reason? Kuna 600 million ya kurenovate nyumba. Yani nyumba ilishajengwa na 400 million. So ni kupaka rangi, kununua light fixtures mpya, kununua viti mpya. Wow. Iyo 800 million, 600 million, 18 billion ya travel, 250 million ya medals, are they essential? Can we take that money, even a fraction of it, and put it in areas that benefit the people of the country without actually putting a strain on the people who are actually struggling? And then kishindwa, tumeza group work. So tunaweza kuja pamoja tuwasaidie. So no, we are not satisfied with those little clauses that you have removed. We are rejecting the entire bill.
So let's head over to something else. Richard Mogaka, another Twitter handle, said something. We can't expect the Gen Zs to understand the 2024 finance bill when those responsible for it, including the president, ministers, MPs, and technocrats, have failed to demonstrate their own comprehension of the document. It concerning that even the drafters themselves appear to struggle with the content they created. I think this is in relation to an interview whereby there was a PS, Chris Kipto, I think. That PS was asked to justify why Kenyans will be forced to pay 2.5% of the motor vehicle circulation tax. And I think there was Sam Gituku there who asked him that question. But he could not defend the point, despite the fact that it is said that the Treasury is the originator of that finance bill, but he could not defend it. Now, a PS is someone who is very powerful in a ministry. In fact, could be powerful than the minister, but he's very powerful. So, if a PS cannot respond to something of that nature, then what about a normal Kenyan? Or what about a Gen Z? What about a youth? Would a youth comprehend it? Definitely that is where now the problem is. There was an MP named RUTO. This is the MP who's been crafting a bill to try to punish anybody who is demonstrating. In fact, trying to apportion the blame on the ringleaders and apportion the cost of destruction. Maybe, for example, if a car is destroyed or vandalized during a demonstration, then the person who organized that demonstration is the person who is supposed to pay. So this particular MP, RUTO, is one of those people who are asked to justify the 2.5, but also he could not. So that's why Richard Mogaka is saying that we can't expect the Gen Zs to understand the 2024 finance bill if these technocrats, these MPs who are pushing for it, don't even understand it. Let me take you to something that is very interesting. Now, this is from Isaac Mwaura. And Isaac Mwaura in this is trying to respond to an online conversation that has been going on the SpaceX. And Isaac Mwaura is saying, let me just read what he's saying. I spent time with Gen Zs and joined the X Space conversation. Other government officials were also there, and we were listening, though we were not given a chance to speak. How do you organize a forum and you don't want others to speak? You must listen to the other side of the story so that you are informed. This is Isaac Mwaura. Well, this conversation that took place on the SpaceX, and it even took place yesterday on the X Space, there was a session where Murkomen was there. But Mukromen left shortly. But he tried to talk about certain things, trying to make the participants in the X Space aware about the finance bill. He tried to lecture them. But then he was not given an opportunity to speak because they didn't want him to speak. In fact, because they didn't expect that he was going to convince them. So Isaac Mwaura, being the government spokesperson, telling us that he was not allowed to talk. You know, that is his stake, ladies and gentlemen. So I started off by reading something about MIGUNA, because MIGUNA talks about the status being a public property, and that RUTO is just a tenant who has been, someone who has been given an opportunity to live there in his capacity as the president of the Republic of Kenya. So the house is a public property and he doesn't pay rent. According to MIGUNA, RUTO does not pay rent. Because RUTO doesn't pay rent, that state house belongs to the Kenyans. And that Kenyans can be given an opportunity to meet him and speak with him there. So I think, what is MIGUNA trying to say here? Been trying to spend my time understanding his point. And what I understand from MIGUNA is that the youth should direct their call to now the state house. You see, they've been trying to access parliament, and you saw the repercussions of trying to do that. They first attempted to approach the CBD, which they successfully did, but amid a lot of anxiety, tension, tear gas, but they successfully did that. Then their target was parliament. You saw what happened to Rex. That was an attempt on the parliament. So what MIGUNA is saying is, it's like occupy state house. I mean, that is in very few words. What MIGUNA is saying is occupy state house. I know that is not going to happen. They will want to try to, but it's not an easy thing to be done, and that's something that we need to be cautious about. We don't want to lose lives, but at the end of the day, this message will still reach. It must reach. But nobody, I don't think the security can even allow the youths to get into close proximity with the state house gate. It's not going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you make of this MIGUNA advice? State house being a public property, and that youths, the Gen Zs, should not be afraid or feel intimidated. Why is it so? Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps if you watch this video not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.